Andrea, it's a pleasure to meet you today again and to hear you tell us about your journey. It was so inspiring to hear what RateCraft does for our community of insured people. It's an irresistible business model, and I can't wait for you to share this. So it's Andrea Luoni today here for us, the leader and founder of RateCraft. She's based out of Denver, Colorado, and I really want you all to meet her and call her because what she has to offer is quite remarkable. So thank you for your time today. You mentioned your background as a semi-professional athlete and your dislike for losing for silly reasons. How did that drive? How did that drive you to create RateCraft's unique model and where clients can save money and even keep their existing agents?
That's a good question. And thank you so much for having me. Um, I think the drive actually from the athletics is kind of combined in what I do. But I did want to do business when I was a kid, so I actually had one of my best friend's mom got me a job at an insurance agency. I really didn't care what I was going to do. I just knew it was business. And I wanted to be in business as a kid. So that was a great start. And as I progressed in through the insurance industry, I realized it didn't work very well. Um, I was selling commercial insurance, and one of the things that people wanted was to keep their agent, but pay less. And they wanted to know that their coverage was good. And I was very detailed at being able to correct coverage issues, make their policies better, and I could get them a better deal. Except what they weren't going to get is to remain with their agent. And every insurance agent actually ends up having this. And you'll find a lot of insurance agents now want to take an account by what they call a broker of record. They basically say, we're great, we're wonderful. And if you give us your business, we'll do great things for you. Here, sign this piece of paper and make me your agent. I've always hated that mentality because, quite frankly, they haven't shown anything of value. They've basically told you that they're great and wonderful, but they haven't shown numbers. They haven't shown great value. Sometimes they'll find something in that conversation of value, but they're still not showing their work effort.
Mm.
So I used my determination, I think, as an athlete, to go, there's got to be a better way. And this is the story of any and every entrepreneur. You know that, right? Like the question is, this doesn't work. How can I make it better? How can I fix it? Or I want something, it's not available. Wonder if I could create that. So
Mhm.
it's really the cornerstone of entrepreneurship. I've read entrepreneurs books, biographies, things like that, and you find some of these commonalities of drive,
Yes.
grit, and the ability to like find solutions. And that's really all that it was. So what we decided to do, and we is like the company, right? So I use the we a lot, but a lot of it's me. Can't deny that because I created it and it was only me, which was why don't, if I was independent of an insurance agency, I could find better deals for people. And then I could tell them the knowledge I have,
Mhm.
share it with them, and negotiate better deals where they could stay with their agent, or their agent could take one of these quotes that I had procured and clean up the coverage. And I just moved the methodology a little bit differently. I would take a percentage of what I saved them
Mhm.
because the number one thing that people wanted was savings. And now I found out that was available 98% of the time. Like most people overpay for insurance, period. And the only reason is they don't know where to look. They don't know what the price should be. And so part of that is being able to know that information. And you know that over time being in an industry. And the more you look at policies across the country and claims and all of this data, you become a data geek, which I am. And you kind of record it. And then you know what people should pay for almost any line of coverage. And it doesn't matter whether it's the benefits insurance or the property and casualty, which is the commercial auto, workers' comp, things of that nature.
Yes. I was about to ask you, so which policies do you cover? Which natures of policies you cover? Everything?
Anything having to do with business insurance. So the employee benefits is one, and that's oftentimes, I mean, someone with 100 employees could easily be paying $1 million a year.
Mm.
So as the employee count goes up, that's going to go up and it's going to be higher. And for most consumers, that premium is going up between 5 to 20% every year.
Wow.
Every year. So that's a big spend. It's the biggest pain point, but it's interesting. The one people have the least amount of information on how to negotiate or get it better. I think the insurance agents and the industry does the worst job at that.
Mm.
There's only about 1 to 3% of the agents I find out there that actually know how to move the needle. And the other side is the business insurance, which is workers' comp, commercial auto, property, cyber, management liability, any of those lines that handle the liability of the company side, just outside the benefits.
Mm-hmm. So what I find remarkable is that you're this perfect couple therapist, because the insured and the insurer, gain in the solution that you bring.
They do. I mean, I guess in some ways the agent loses a bit because if the premium goes down, their revenue goes down.
Well, but the client stays.
But the client stays. I always say, right, it's better to get a piece of something than all of nothing, right?
Yes,
So
plus also it's demonstrating your client that you really care, It's about a relationship and a long-term relationship. So in the long, the longer the person stays, there's a cost, as you know, of acquisition, there's a cost of to churning, there's a cost to, so it
yeah.
it's
The
actually,
the agents that are the best friends usually are taking the most advantage of the client. And that's sad. I mean, I'm sorry that I see that
yeah.
because it's contradictory to what they're telling me the agent is. Oh, we've been friends for decades. And I
Hmm.
look at the policies and I just go,
Yeah.
wow, I have a publicly traded company that was paying $12 million and we saved them 7.2. The agency they thought was their friend, they stayed with them. But we shouldn't be able to save $7.2 million from your agent who's your friend.
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure. So your business model is a percentage of the $7.2 million, or is there a cap, or how does it work?
A lot of publicly traded companies that have a very, very large spend want to negotiate the fee. I mean, our standard fee is we share in the savings, so it's a 50-50 split. Um, but obviously, these very large and the publicly traded companies, you're looking at $12 million. And if you look at our website, we tell you, you can save 20 to, 60%. So it doesn't take them long to do that math and go, so let me see. If you save me 50%, I'm going to pay you 50% of what, $6 million? We don't think that that's reasonable and fair. And I wouldn't disagree with it, right? That's an exorbitant fee. But it's a reasonable fee for some of the smaller companies because the number's not that big. And I don't know until I look at the data exactly where they're at on the spending spectrum on what I think we can save them.
Mhm. Mm.
Although I will tell you, health insurance is pretty much an average of 20% savings
Mhm. Mhm.
consistently. I mean, kind of crazy that it's that consistent.
No, it is. It is. It is. But again, you're elevating the ecosystem. Maybe not the short-term gain, but in the end, you're elevating the ecosystem because relationships, yield revenues.
Well, the the thing that's so frustrating is if I was in a group of business owners and it's a mingling session, they have these events and they're having their cocktail hour. I can walk through the crowd and I can hear them talking about health insurance and how it's ridiculous. Like when they start talking about their business, it is a hot topic item. And yet, there are times where we call on a company and talk to them, and they go, "Oh no, I think we've got it covered." And I'm like, "Well, I understand you have the coverage, but you guys have a problem in that it's going up and you don't know the solutions." But their concern is that because our name isn't Marsh or Aon, which are some of the largest insurance agencies, in the US, and or Aon, the world, they say, right?
Hmm.
Like we couldn't possibly do something better that they're not doing. And the reality is they're not doing what we do at
Mm.
all. They should be, but they don't. I have a publicly traded company right now, and the agent is on commission for the insurance piece. And
Mhm.
their part of their insurance is self-funded. And so that premium goes up every year. And there's a reason, because your agent is compensated for that, and he's getting a raise every year.
Mhm.
And it needs to be right fitted, which means they need to be on a fee for service.
Yes.
And then for the consumer, they need to know what is the appropriate fee for an agent of a size of company of X.
So,
And they
yeah.
don't know that.
Okay. So, with this golden opportunity that you thrive on from your knowledge, experience, tenaciousness, I suppose, tenacity, you know, um, I mean, give us a sense of how big you said you studied it. Okay. So, what is the scale now of RateCraft's enterprise?
I mean, we tend to be more of a boutique company.
Hmm.
Um, Not because we want to, but because I think the sales element across the board has been very difficult. I also am I I hate some of the spammy emails that I get, listed as a CEO. They're not relevant. There's tons of them. They send me two, a week. And so I don't want to be that, right? So there's companies I can certainly, we have the wherewithal to do those drop emails, but they're not they're kind of spammy, and I kind of don't want to be that company.
Hmm.
We do a lot of what we've done for our sales team is we get referral partners,
Yeah.
and they know people and they refer us to people. We work
Yeah.
with fractional CFOs. We work with wealth managers, even all kinds of different people that are in the cost reduction space.
Hmm.
And they end up sending us prospective clients that have an interest.
Hmm.
And then we do some direct, email contacting people. We our favorite thing is to do speaking engagements. We actually get clients, out of a Vistage meeting almost every time. And there's usually only about 10 companies in a Vistage
Sure.
meeting,
Sure.
but we'll pick up 5 of the 10.
Wonderful.
Because once someone spends about 15 minutes and they hammer us with all their questions of why they don't think this would work, most of them step away going, huh, well, I have nothing to lose. And you're like, right, it was set up that way.
Hmm.
Like, and it's like, well, we'll have you take a look at it. The other factor is the people that are protecting their turf. And so for health insurance, that may be the HR. Like they're working on health insurance. And for the last 5 years, they haven't brought the premium down by 20%. So if they hear that, that makes them nervous, right? To have someone come in and show them um, the savings of 20% that they didn't bring to the table. And I literally had a CEO yell at his HR person because we saved $1 million. And he goes, I'm over the course of 2 years going to pay you $1 million. And it's like, yes, that's true. And he goes, wouldn't my agent have brought this? Once again, this is another friend. Wouldn't my agent have brought this? And it's like, we have an email requesting this exact same strategy, and your agent said the carriers declined.
Mm.
So I said, your agent was never going to bring it. And you've been eligible for doing any of these programs since you had over 100 employees. I said, have you ever seen any of these before? He goes, no. I said, it was never going to be brought to your attention. And unfortunately, he went and yelled at his HR person, who never spoke to me again via email. Like he hated me because
You're, yeah.
he
You're
didn't
Robin
look
Hood.
good. He didn't look good in his opinion.
You're
Uh,
Robin Hood.
but the thing is, we try to tell a CEO or a CFO, this is not your company's fault. It's not your people's fault. It is a broken system, and the system likes it broken.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Yeah. I
So
mean,
you're
of
the
course,
consumer.
no, it's short-term thinking, but yes, yes.
I have had this business for 30 years and I basically have no competition still.
Mm.
And agents will ask me, they'll go, Andrea, do you know how much money you could make being an insurance agent? And I'm always like, do you know how much money I make? And they said no. And I said, well, why don't you tell me what an agent makes and I'll tell you whether I'm interested. And they
Mm,
tell me, and I go, no, not yet.
mm,
No, not yet.
mm, mm.
Now, I would have fun being an agent because I could use my knowledge and be a better agent, right?
Yeah, yeah,
I could get them the savings. I could fix the problems. Um, but I like to keep it separate. I do not sell insurance. We have tools
yeah.
to help consumers, and I really like being on that side of the fence.
Sure, sure. I said you're a Robin Hood. Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, who doesn't want to be that?
Of course. Okay. We get well. Okay. 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 Sure. So, wonderful. Thank you. Great energy and great work and great results. So it's wonderful. Could you tell us a few words on the, 30 years that you've done this, with this company and more in the insurance space? So what major shifts are you seeing right now, especially concerning client expectations and agent relationships, which is a lot?
Um, well, it's interesting. I was hiring some back office staff and I hired her, and her previous company came and outbid her by, you know, probably $30,000 more. Um, so I think what I'm seeing is I do see the pool of people that are good and qualified shrinking. There
Hmm.
seems to be a lack of quality employees in this space.
Hmm.
And so I think that's interesting. I don't think AI is replacing people yet. I think people are using it, but it's still lacking a lot.
Hmm.
And for consumers, it's also lacking a lot. I periodically go in and try to like ask questions of AI to
Hmm.
find out if it knows the secret sauce. Can you find the answers just on AI? Like, will my job be eliminated, right?
Hmm.
Like, is AI going to get smart enough and tell people where to go, how to go, and how to do it? Or what agents are doing that? And it just doesn't yet. It's still kind of dumb. Um, there's things that it does, right? I mean, it certainly can write an email for you, and then to personalize it yourself. The English is oftentimes better than what we might write sometimes ourselves.
Hmm.
They use maybe a better wording than we do. So, I mean, I think it improves that. I will tell you right now, they've done a bunch of updates on AI, and almost all the tools that I'm seeing in use are really bad.
Hmm.
So, like even your email, whether you're using a platform of Google or Gmail or the Outlook,
Hmm.
are horrendous. Like
Hmm.
you have to wait for it to upload, and I think it's AI it's uploading. They're the widgets and stuff. It's about 30 or 40 seconds before you can start typing. So I think work is going to slow down if that doesn't get fixed because I don't work that slow. So, um, and it's like, can you turn these things off?
Hmm.
I know I've heard a lot of complaints over new Outlook platforms. So all these are interrelated because you'll have a company that will use those type of platforms, and then they add all these other, whether it's Salesforce or all these other type of technologies in it, and you're using all of them all together, and they all have their own AI component, and they're all
Hmm.
slowing down.
Sure, sure.
And there's a discussion about how much power we're going to need for AI, and I'm seeing it already that we're going to tap out.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay, so that was on AI. Wonderful. Thank you. Interesting. Well, I mean, there's lots of articles, lots of literature, that also substantiate what you're saying. So, but that will change. I'm sure that the relationship will be dynamic and will change eventually, but it takes some time. Yes, as you
It
said. Yeah,
does.
yeah,
It
yeah.
does.
So what's working exceptionally well at or for RateCraft today? And conversely, what aspects of the business are you finding most challenging, if not frustrating?
Um, the work after 30 years is still the work and it's still good and it still has the same results. I mean, you can't knock being in business for 30 years and still being able to get the same kind of, amazing results. Okay. So what's not working is conversations we've had, briefly before, which were, gosh, it's hard to get known in there as a smaller company without, uh, doing massive TV, and media plugs to find out, what you do and just deciding. I mean, I've done many magazine articles and speaking engagements and been around for a long time. You try to do the engagement and you're like, there's so many companies out there I could help, and I have not even scratched the surface of it. And we could do so much more,
Yeah.
but you have to be known, and that seems to be a very difficult task to do.
So, okay, I hear you. That's honest, and thank you for sharing this way. And looking ahead, what does the next level of RateCraft look like, and what are your aspirations for the business in the next, let's say, 6 to 12 months?
Still expanding on referral partners, um, and also doing our own organic sales. But I have been, I have had a um, tech company architectured in my brain and on paper for the small businesses.
Hmm.
There, our business right now really isn't focused on those companies that have 10 to 40 employees. Most of our business is focused on 100 employees or more. It
Hmm.
takes us the same amount of work. So we've only been really focusing on those larger ones because the dollars are larger and we can be more successful that way.
Hmm.
However, there are so many small companies. I mean, I had a friend who had a $1,600 policy, which is not very much money in most businesses' minds, but it was for her. And just by looking at it, I knew that I could take the premium down. We took it to a $600 policy and we gave her more coverage. And small businesses, that's huge, huge
Yeah.
for them. It's $1,000 out of their budget that they have to budget for. And that was a very small company. But even the ones that have like 30 employees, I mean, I have one that had 65 employees and we had over $400,000 in savings on their health insurance. So
Hmm.
even the small companies have great savings. So now people are more competent with the Internet of Things and computers.
Sure.
Like they could literally understand how to upload something. When I originally came out with the architecture, I would never have been able to get anyone to upload something. Like I couldn't even walk them through it, and I'd have to walk them through it
Wow.
because I literally came out with it shortly after I started my company. So that was like, maybe 25 years ago.
Hmm.
I said, gosh, you know what? I could put this on a platform on the internet where I could do the same thing, but for small businesses, charge them a lot less because it would be automated, right? So that's still in the back of my head. It's about a $25 million business, quite frankly, or more. And it might agitate those insurance companies enough that they would just close it down and buy it out.
Hmm. Wow.
And there's still nothing like it on the market. And like I said, it's been in my brain for 25 years.
I'm taking notes, of people to introduce you to. Okay, so
Well, it's the biggest problem for me is that I sit there and go, I have to go raise money, because it is something that once you put it out there, you have to put it out big
Mhm.
because either someone will sniff it and copy it, right? Smart people. Or and it needs to go out so large on a
Mm.
platform with advertising and everything else. And then, like I said, it'll either irritate the insurance companies, the large insurance companies, where they like, I don't want this out there.
Mhm.
I, Where's our profit margin? I mean, and it will kill us. And So they'll shut it down by purchasing it. And that's happened before where they don't want something out there. I think Bankrate has even done stuff like that, where there's a new tool that comes out and they've always been a leader in certain tools and they don't want them out there.
So many thoughts racing through my mind. Okay, we'll talk after the call because that's not about this right now. But so during our pre-call, you highlighted staffing quality and market awareness, as you just said, as key challenges. And if you had a magic wand to fix just one thing that's currently holding RateCraft back from achieving that next level you're talking about, and what would it be?
It would probably be recognition, like that it exists.
Mhm. That's clear. And what are the biggest levers you believe you could activate to achieve your growth goals or, that reputation, recognition, and what obstacles you foresee in activating them?
Trying to figure out which one works the best.
Hmm.
Because I've tried different things, right? And you analyze it, you look at it, and you go, it doesn't really work. Like LinkedIn is supposed to be one of your best avenues right now to accessing a variety of people. Um, I'm not sure I'm sold on that.
Hmm.
Not sure, um, organically, I've been doing quite a bit of work on there, and I get referral partners, but organic clients, not so much yet.
Hmm. On which
And
platform you said? Which platform did you say?
LinkedIn.
Oh, LinkedIn, excuse me.
So
Yes,
if
of
you
course.
listen to like a Gary V,
Yeah,
he's like, okay, LinkedIn is the business person who has like services and things. There's things like Shopify and things like that. If you have a product, like you have a physical product, I'm going to sell you, my pin here, and it's super special. It's super groovy colors and it whistles while you write, whatever. That's easier to sell on social platforms, in my opinion.
yeah.
I mean, if I have the biggest selling item is women's cosmetics. you
Mhm.
know, us old women are buying every lotion and potion we know to the man to try and keep our face up, right? But but insurance, good God, like it's so sleepy. So that doesn't really work on social media, but it should work on LinkedIn. And to
Mm.
his point, that is a business platform that he thinks is solid gold. I just haven't found it yet, but then he'll also tell you, well, then your content's bad.
What's the name of this gentleman?
Gary V.
I'll just spell the last name.
VEE.
I will look it up and tell you what I
Yeah,
think.
his name's a little different than that because he's Russian, so it's Venachek or something like that, but he goes by Gary V.
Got it. So then, yes, I will look him up. In the meanwhile, I've got one last question for you. Given the rapid advancements of AI, even if you agree and we agree that there are lots of glitches still and limitations and an interaction between humans and AI that's not as flowing as it could be yet, how do you see artificial intelligence intersecting with RateCraft's next level or helping to overcome some of the hurdles that you're talking about?
Um, I'm not sure because it is something that I've had multiple conversations regarding AI
Yeah,
and RateCraft,
yeah.
both on back office stuff, like could it make the physical work that we do easier? Our work is very technical.
Hmm.
I can't get it to analyze an insurance policy and pull out the kind of stuff I want out of it. So I can't get it to do it yet. And I keep trying, and no one else that wants to try has been successful doing it either. So I'm like, and I will say that I'm naive in knowing how to use the chat GPT and things of that nature, in the asking, because it is in the asking and training it.
Hmm.
And I haven't quite got there myself. Um, And then as far as outreach, I am using AI. I
Hmm.
mean, I use AI in some of my videos because it's much easier to video myself, on three different times, right? With
Sure.
a different shirt on, maybe a different hairdo, right? So I look a little different, and then write the script because memorizing a script as a non-actor, that's challenging.
Sure.
And it's not my day job, right?
Yeah, yes, yes,
Like
yes,
that's
yes.
not my job.
Yes, yes,
Like
yes, yes.
I look at insurance policies, analyze them, and figure out solutions to save people money by, auditing them and looking at them and going out and negotiating them.
Mm,
So I didn't think I would use it, but it's not bad.
mm,
I like these conversations better. I'd rather put you and I having a conversation on a LinkedIn or a platform or clips or something that's interesting.
mm,
But I am using AI that way, and it's very helpful. And it also is helpful when I'm writing a blog. It can't write the blog because it can't give me anything unique, but
sure,
it does give me a good content, and then I change it and make the parts
sure,
unique that it's
sure.
giving as, bland, as the status quo. And I could do that with almost anything. Like it's like I could put something in and it'll tell me how insurance works in that very like to get better commercial insurance rates, you need to shop your insurance. Well, who
Mm,
doesn't know that? Like that's kind of dumbed down if you ask me. I could ask any business owner and they'd say, "Well, I guess I need to go out and shop my insurance." But I have an independent agent, so that's what they're supposed to do. Are
sure.
they though? And so you're still left with, did you go to all the carriers? Well, guess what? Consumers don't know who the carriers even are. They might know Hartford and Travelers,
Yeah.
but they've never heard of QBE. Right? Who's that? It's an A-rated carrier. So
I know we have to wrap up. We went over time already. Thank you so, so much. It was both inspiring and insightful. I'm sure our audience really loved what you said. So many thoughts went through my mind. And that's great. That's what we want, right, from this conversation. So thank you. Anything else that you would like to share? Please. Yes.
no, I think that's it. But I thank you so much for your time and
But
having me on.
likewise. No, no, very much so. So this is the end of our podcast. I hope we'll see you again. And many, many thanks again. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.